truck on the road here. It's not usual for the truck to stop here. Might just pop down to see if he's alright. There's no one in it. Those birds looked incredible, didn't they? Look at this road. This is what this is made for. Well, actually, this bike is made for far greater gradients in the road than this. What the heck was that? The trees falling down. Anyway, look at this. It's a beautiful countryside out here. Let me just pull up here and have a quick chat to you all, eh? So here we are again on my CFMOTO 450 MT. It's a great bike, and I'm just dropping by now to do a quick update review on what I think so far of this bike. Now, keep in mind, I have not ridden this off-road other than just doing gravel roads like this, purely because the engine has not been running yet. So I've only done 205 kilometers in total on this bike since brand new. So the engine's still got another 800 kilometers until it needs its first 1,000 kilometer service. But, you know, so far with this 200 kilometers of riding, I have certainly got the feel for the bike. So I'm making this as a quick update because I know this bike is popular. I know a lot of people are on the edge of their seat wanting to hear an unbiased opinion from someone that is not affiliated with CFMOTO or has been paid by CFMOTO to go to a global launch. You know, there's no financial incentive for me to tell you what I'm telling you in this video about this bike. This is purely my perceptions. So straight away, I didn't mind this bike. In fact, it's such an easy bike to ride because it is lightweight. Let's be honest, it's lighter than my cruiser, but it is an adventure bike. You know, it is tall. The center of gravity is going to be higher up on it than what you would find with my other cruiser and a lot of other bikes out there. It is supposed to be a little bit top heavy, and that's all it is, a little bit top heavy. Tiny. Do not worry about it. Do not think you can't lift this bike off the ground. Do not make that persuade you to say you shouldn't buy it, because I can tell you that this is a phenomenal bike. You get so much bang for your buck with this bike. It is phenomenal. You get Japanese standard but with a Chinese price tag. It is phenomenal. That is the word I'll use of the day today to describe this bike. Phenomenal. The stock tires perhaps aren't the best, but for the break-in period, they're brilliant. They're an excellent choice that CFMOTO have chosen to put on the bike. It gives you the option there to do a bit of road, bit of off-road. And, you know, you're not going to do anything too major until you've worn the bike in. So it's great to have these tyres on there. The fuel tank capacity, it's like 17 litres. Again, phenomenal. It gives you a lot of range out of a tank. You know, I haven't actually finished my first fuel tank yet, so I'm not going to spruik how much I'm going to be able to travel on the bike, but so far my fuel consumption based on the computer on the dashboard puts me at 4.2 litres and per 100 kilometers, and I do a combination of highway and city riding, so you're probably going to get about that. You know, it's pretty good on fuel. The headlight, man, amazing low beam and amazing high beam. I don't really want to put any spotlights on it. I'm happy with that. Brakes, perfect. They do the job. It is a light bike. You only need the one disc on the front. But they've done everything right with this bike, in my opinion. The only gripes that I have are as follows. And again, these are my gripes and not a deal breaker in my opinion. The first one is this high beam thing here. This is like a trigger, so you can pull it down to flash, or you can push it forward to put it in high beam mode. It's a nice spot for it because it's easy to use, but with my large hands, I often will reach for the clutch, and every now and then I will just accidentally bump it up like that. You know, that is only a minor thing, and I can probably get around it by just being more mindful of it and moving my hand slightly to the end of the bar, and I'll clearly clear it. But that's something that's, you know, irks me so far, but not a deal breaker. The next thing is the toolkit is missing the ring spanners to be able to loosen and take off that nut there. Why they're not in there? I don't know. Other people I've heard in the CFMOTO forums have the exact same toolkit with it missing those 2 spanners. I'm guessing it was a supply issue. And CFMOTO, if you're watching this video, please send out those spanners to all the people in Australia that pre-ordered this bike who are riding it now without those actual wrench spanner things. They're the ones that go on to undo this nut here. We've got the other spanners, but we don't have that axle wrench, I think it's called. The third and last gripe that I've got so far, and this may or may not be something that is a long-term thing, is that here in Australia with the CFMOTO app, there is no ability to put any navigation on the screen when you're riding or doing any screen mirroring. I know in China, I've seen videos where the riders there have been able to do a screen mirroring function, or at least put some maps up on the screen. So I do believe that feature is going to come, and fingers crossed they'll just iron out the bugs and then release it worldwide, and perhaps that's why it hasn't been yet released, because of those bugs. But they're the only 3 gripes I've got with this so far, and I can tell you those 3 gripes are well and truly outweighed by other features on the bike. Now I can just start here. The exhaust, 2 notes that come through it, sounds phenomenal. Kind of reminds me of a Groove Armada song that when it starts up, it's like boo, boo. Anyway, you've got no idea what I'm talking about unless you've heard that song. The next bit, the indicators, brilliant. The light's brilliant. This chain guard is brilliant as well. It's got a little thing here to hook your chain on when you put it in. This part at the front here is metal, so this is an extra bit here that they've maybe had to put on just to keep it safe, but that being metal is good. The fact that you can remove the rubbers in the foot pegs is great. The fact that these bend, also great. Same with the brake lever on the other side. The build quality is great. There's nothing that I've looked at on this bike and go, geez, that was a bit sloppy. You know, all the gaps and everything seem quite good, and the tolerances in their quality and control is good. These mirrors, when you can fold them up and down, they're good, and then stiff as well, so you're not going to bump them by accident. USB port on there, you know, adjustable mirror, that's good as well. Engine, obviously, it's a sports bike engine, it's fine in this bike, does the job. Adjustable suspension, but you all know the specs on this bike, so I'm not going to drum on about that. But let's just go for a bit of a cruise and turn this high beam off if it is on. Right. So let's just go down here. So it handles really well. I've gotten used to it by riding in my motocross boots. These are O'Neill motocross boots, and it's a little bit tricky at first. I've never ridden in them, but you know, it's not that difficult really. It just feels like a premium bike, let's be honest. And look, here's another adventure bike up here. Is it the same bike? No. Yeah. Hey buddy. He's got a CFMOTO as well. So how funny is that? We've both got the same bike in the same colour. So I'm telling you, this bike is so popular because of the value for money that you're getting and the quality of what you're getting. You're just getting so much bang for your buck. If you're on the fence about getting this bike and you're like, oh, should I get it? Just get it. Go on. Or at the very least, just go to the dealer and sit on one. Take it for a test ride if they let you. And you will see that it's just outstanding value for this price point. You can't fault it. And like, it's so stable. Look, I've gone over 100 on this dirt road, and it's calm. It likes being on the rough road. So I'm very pleased with it. Now, would you buy this bike over the competitor? And I'm going to call the competitor the Himalayan 450, because out of all the other bikes on the market in Australia, that's probably the most comparable to the CFMOTO in terms of firstly price and what you're getting. So there are differences in the two bikes, and that is a good thing. I'm not someone that sits around and goes, you know, all the bikes need to be twin cylinder. You know, people don't always want the same thing, and it's good to see that there's two different options out there in the market, giving people the ability to choose what they actually want. I chose this bike because it's got a twin cylinder and I preferred the screen, and it looks better in my opinion than the Himalayan. And yes, I am saying that right, that's how you pronounce it if you're from the Himalayas or Himalayans. Yeah, that's it. But anyway, it's purely a choice thing. You know, both bikes are going to be great, and I think you can't go wrong either way. Let's be honest. So having ridden this bike over 200 kilometers now, would I still buy this bike again if I had the choice, or would I go a different bike? I would hands down have no dramas dropping the cash on one of these right now, even if I had to wait months to get one, because it's a phenomenal bike. I'm really happy with it, and I think you will be happy with it too. It's let's be honest, this is a mini Tanner 700 that the world has been waiting for years. The twin cylinder mid-size adventure bike, the unicorn of the adventure bike world, is right here today, and I've got myself the best bike that I could buy for my money. So I'm really happy with my choice, and I hope you all are as well, and hope you've enjoyed my point of view on this opinion. And as usual, keep safe out there on the road, stay on two wheels and not on your head, and I'll see you all next time. Laters!